Hello there, welcome back. Yeah. Well, it seems like we just saw each other for that same issue. Having ear problems again? Any hearing loss, headache, anything like that? No? Okay. You do come here frequently about your ears. I'm starting to think you just like hanging out with me. Of course. Absolutely. Okay. Well, let me take a look. Certainly not a problem. Can you hear this on this side? Okay. How about from far away? Okay. On the other side, can you hear that? And from far away? Okay. Alright. Well, yeah, let's take a look. Not an issue. So you said no headache, no hearing loss. Have you had any fever, any kind of changes in, any kind of drainage? No? No drainage? Okay. Alright. Well, as always, before we continue, I should mention I am a real physician. My license number is actually in the description. But, of course, because you and I have never met in the place that they call real life, then I can't say anything that's officially for diagnosis or treatment of any kind of illness. However, you can take things for medical education, self-care, and of course always check anything that you hear online against the newest studies on PubMed.gov. Medscape is another good resource. So I try to always be really upfront with you all about things that I've learned from medical school and things I've found in more recent studies in my ongoing education as a physician, of course. I've been practicing for several years now, but medical science changes very rapidly, so always make sure to fact check. Yeah, I think that's fair. You can sometimes trust your gut. Sometimes you can't, though. So always good to fact check. Okay? Alright, you said no headache, no drainage, no fever, okay, and no hearing loss. Well, according to this, you just tested, vaguely normal. I can always set you up for the audiologist. If that's something you want for an official test, that's where they do the little beeps in your ears. I find those to be miserable, but can absolutely set you up for that. Then you have to stare at that boring wall the entire time. It's miserable. Alright, let's get you taken care of. How's work going? Okay. A lot of stress. Now, do you get off work to come see me? Oh, I know how it is with secret agents. I know how all of you are. I'm looking for one more thing. I should really have my bag better organized. But I'm listening to you, so this offers me a chance to kind of hear what you think is going on, right? Okay. Yep. And of course, as always, this is your personal device, since I am your personal. Yes, and it's the secret agency, has things all special. This one is just for you. I have this sterilized and so forth. Make sure that you're okay. And nothing is being spread to you. And of course, I washed my hands right over there. You saw at the beginning. And you washed your hands too when you came in? Okay. Obviously it's more important that I've washed my hands, but... Alright, let's take a look. Okay. First I'm going to go ahead and touch Let's see. So, just a little bit of tenderness. I don't notice inside if you're going to hear any kind of weird edema or edema. side, shall we? Okay. Same thing over here. Alright. So I don't see any bulging of the tympanic membrane. Feeling here along the pinna. Tenderness and irregularities. I don't see any discharge, any ear edema. Actually, let me take that back. The ear canal itself has some erythema in it. It looks like it's very clean, but have you been sticking something in your ear? Yeah, it looks like it looks scraped on this side. You shouldn't do that. No, it's very clean. There's no cerumen buildup. Is that something you worry about a lot? It does look kind of like you've been obsessively cleaning your ears. And I know you come in here a lot worried that you might have a blockage or something else like that. The tympanic membrane looks good, but you're at risk of puncturing it if you keep putting objects in there. I had a soldier come in with that, actually, IRL, not even within an RP. Like, guy straight up busted his own eardrum in the bathroom. You shouldn't do that. So you shouldn't really put things in your ears. You really need a trained professional to be able to see it and get things out that might be there. But there's nothing. It's very, very clean. I can set you up for an audiologist if you like, but here on initial testing, can you tell me what I said? Over here, I'm going to whisper this here. You are gonna be okay. What did I say? Okay, same thing over here. You are a purple dinosaur. Yes, that is actually what I said. No, you didn't hear me wrong. So, if you want, and it's gonna, I think I hesitate to send you to an audiologist because I'm telling you there's nothing wrong with your ears. And you're hearing normally. We would put in an exam, we would write down grossly normal. So it's going to cost you a lot of money for them to tell you that, and tell you that, it's normal. Do you feel like, why is it that you think you've been having hearing loss? Are you actually, having trouble hearing when people talk to you? No, you're afraid that you might. Has it happened though? Has someone said something and you couldn't hear them? Oh, when you were concentrating on a video game with your headphones on. That's fairly normal, to tell you the truth. Yeah. Sometimes, when we're very, very concentrated on something else, we don't hear. I see. You can be a little bit, I can say this after having known you a while, you can be a little bit of a hypochondriac. And I'm especially concerned about the obsessively cleaning the ear on the one side. So I would recommend that you go over the CBT principles in the depression playlist on the main actual Dr. ASMR channel. So the same CBT principles that help with the thoughts in depression can also help with the thoughts of things like anxiety. When you have kind of a extensive anxiety, and this is going to go get taken care of with cavity wipes. We're not going to reuse it on anybody else since it doesn't have the little coverlet, right? It has to be cleaned off from your germs before we move on, before we use it again. So, but yeah, I find that I think I would really recommend a lot of deep breaths. Please don't go cleaning in there. If you can use a and I even hesitate to say water because some people get swimmers here, but there are some drops of things like benzoyl peroxide at the pharmacy that you can use to clean out. I don't want you to be anxious, so I also made a panic attack video that you can use. And even though you're not having panic attacks, that same kind of process of calming yourself can help you look at what the evidence is for how you feel, rather than just looking at, just the worries. Obviously, if anything changes, you get a fever, you get hearing loss, you get something coming out, you get pain in the ear, right? You don't have any pain. No, you get anything like that, then you should definitely come back to me. I'm always happy to take a look. But I also don't want to take advantage of your anxiety, which I find is something that a lot of physicians do. They'll take advantage of the fact that you're anxious and then make you spend money on things. And it'd be one thing if you're in a system where we can just keep ordering and ordering and ordering stuff at no additional cost to you, but most of the time that's not the case, right? So I don't want to take advantage of your anxiety. I want to make sure that your anxiety is taken care of. Well, there's also my affiliate, the therapy affiliate, betterhelp.com/drjen, that I affiliate with. But the most important thing is that you have a therapist that works for you. Yeah. Oh no, you're welcome to check. Yeah, like I said, I affiliate with them, so I like them. So you're welcome to check them out. It's online therapy. I can get you 10% off. Yeah, at betterhelp.com/drjen. But again, it needs to not be about what I recommend or what I have. It needs to be about the evidence and what works and what's close to you. So, based on what I have seen, again, your tympanic membranes are both intact, your hearing is grossly intact, you don't have any kind of erythema, exudates, any kind of real edema except for the edema and erythema that's in the side where you've been jamming it with something. It looks like even a toothpick. Did you put a toothpick in your ear? Okay. Did you put a pencil up in there? Okay. I'm asking because there's like a little, No, there is no lead in your ear or anything like that. Yeah, you gotta, part of taking care of yourself is also trusting your body to tell you when there's going to be something wrong, right? Yeah. Well, you take very good care of us with your work with the secret agency, and so we need to take good care of you, right? So, how about this? How about we go down to the comic shop and blow off some steam? You've been working a lot and been under a lot of stress. We go down to the comic shop and blow off some steam. Okay. And then, if anything changes, then that way I can watch you and make sure you're okay. And if something does change and you become not okay, then I'm with you. Yeah, and that's perfect. Because things can always change. Your ears may look good now and then something changes later. Right? So I on the one hand don't want to take advantage of your anxiety, and on the other hand I never want to blow you off. Yeah, because we got to make sure we follow the evidence at each moment. The evidence at this moment indicates that it is all right, and that the main problem with your ears is that you're obsessively cleaning them. And I don't want to say obsessively in like a derogatory way, I just mean like you're doing it a lot. So, and that's where the evidence leads right now. Okay? But if the evidence changes, if you start having ear pain or something else, I can always take a look. And you know what? I'm always willing to take a look, even if nothing has changed and you're just worried about it and tugging at it. Yeah. You're gonna be okay. Let's head down to the comic shop, okay? So this is my favorite comic shop. I don't know if you saw the sign outside, but this is Vision's Vision's Comics, and actually the owner's here today. Is Suko. Hi, Suko.
Hey, what's going on, Jen? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Good to see you.
Look, a little bit of a change in plans here. I have your pull, by the way. We're gonna have to wait on the snowboarding because the new guy called in. He's not feeling well, so I called Jubilee. She's gonna come in. She's supposed to run the Magic the Gathering tournament later today, but she's gonna come in early, so we'll be able to hit the slopes, and then I'll just come back, later tonight.
That sounds just
I've got most of your pulls here. I've got your back issues on Nightwing, Batman, Man-Thing. I've got some of your Spider-Man stuff here, and your Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. I couldn't get Spider-Man 600, so good luck with that. Here you go.
That's just fine. Oh, this is awesome. It's a nice little pile I have here. This is perfect. Yay! I know you were looking to pick up some new comics. You should ask Suko. Suko's really, really well versed in Marvel, and I know that was what you had been asking about a little bit.
Yeah, so you want to learn something about Marvel? What, do you know what characters you have interest in, or what story arcs? Okay, well, as far as Spider-Man goes, I kind of like all the weird Spider-Mans, you know, not the Peter Parker one. So, my favorite Spider-Man is Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. It's a alternate universe. This is the first issue right here. An alternate universe takes place in the year 2099, and the first thing that drew me to this Spider-Man is he's actually Mexican, which I thought was pretty dope. When you came in by the front, you probably noticed that Spider-Man statue, the one on the two-tier shelf there. That's Spider-Man 2099. We also we've got Superior Spider-Man. That's pretty much Dr. Octopus. His consciousness was trapped, or transferred over rather, into Peter Parker's body, and he wanted to be a superior Spider-Man to Peter Parker, hence the name Superior Spider-Man. Scarlet Spider was pretty cool. I know I have some Funko Pops of him somewhere on the back wall there. What else?
He's at the end of the Spider-Verse. I know, since you don't know a lot about the comics, I know you were like into the cinematic universe. I didn't know this. Suko told me this actually, but the Spider-Man 2099, right, is the guy at the in the extra credit scene, right?
Yeah.
Of Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah. You should know by now, if you haven't stayed to the end of the credits on any Marvel movie, shame on you if you haven't. At the end of Into the Spider-Verse, it kind of teases Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. He's in like his current time, and then he he travels the Spider-Verse back to the original Spider-Man cartoon, which you probably have not seen because it's that old. And you know, then they
Are you talking about the 1960s one or something?
Back in it was either the late 60s or the early 70s, I want to say.
It was like really stiff, and he like doesn't animate his knees or his. I've seen that one. He doesn't animate like his knees or his elbows.
Yeah, that's the one. So he's actually going to be a character in Into the Spider-Verse 2, which I don't think it comes out next year. It comes out in 2022, I believe. As long as it's still on.
Do you think it's
track,
gonna
on schedule?
Do you think it's gonna be pushed back even further, or? I haven't actually heard anything new about whether or not that's gonna be pushed back.
I don't think so, because they haven't really announced that it's being delayed because of the situation going on, and a bunch of the productions have already kicked back up. The Hawkeye TV shows kicked back up. Shang-Chi's filming again, so since it's mostly just animation stuff, I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue.
That's true. You can animate from like anywhere in the world.
One of my favorite characters is Beta Ray Bill. He was the first non-Asgardian to lift Thor's hammer, which is very, very important character, very meaningful character. You probably have seen him before. He looks just like Thor, except he kind of has a horse head. My wife calls him Dead Horse Man. There's a next to the Spider-Man statue up at the front. There's a XM Studios 1/4 scale statue of Beta Ray Bill, and I think we still have the Bowen 1/6 scale statue right next to him. A lot of characters have picked up Thor's hammer from time to time in the comics. Some of them.
I know that's a little bit silly because it's supposed to be that only the worthy can lift his hammer, but everyone can lift his hammer.
Well, I mean, some people have cheated. Like Hulk lifts the hammer because out of pure strength. It's not that he's worthy. Red Hulk lift the hammer because he was in space. And another thing you have to look at is the hammer.
Space is cheating.
It's a weapon of peace, and it's also a weapon of war. So I personally think the reason that Captain America couldn't pick up the hammer in Age of Ultron is because he still had that mentality as in, I'm not going to kill. And then when he realized he had to kill Thanos, that's when he was able to lift it. See, there's a lot of really good X-Men lines, especially stuff back from the 90s, the Jim Lee era, leading all the way up through, you've got actually I have a comic of it. Let me find it right here. This is my wedding
This comic got me through residency.
The wedding of Cyclops and Jean Grey. That was a really good comic. That was during the Jim Lee era. Put this back up on the shelf. And then of course you had the animated series that was kind of based off of the Jim Lee 90 artwork. You've got
That's at the which one is that? Because there were a couple X-Men animated series, right?
Yeah, the first animated series was 1992, so it was on Fox Kids in the morning and whatnot. They had they had like a really short, I think it was either 1989 or 1990. It was like a 45-minute animated movie, but that's the one where Wolverine is Australian. They had X-Men Evolution was in the 2000s, and then they had Wolverine and the X-Men, but those seasons didn't last as long as the 90s. That's really got a lot of nostalgia for people that grew up in the 80s and 90s. You have some like darker X-Men storylines, like Messiah Complex, where after the House of M, where all the mutants kind of lost their powers. Messiah Complex is basically where Cyclops realizes that some people need to be dealt with permanently. And then he redoes X-Force, like a newer X-Force, not my X-Force from the 90s, which, let me tell you, Deadpool 2 absolutely ruined X-Force.
You're not a fan of the Batman mentality, huh? The like, no killing ever, even if it's the Joker and he's gonna go on and kill 300 children. No killing, never, 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 never.
No,
You're not an absolutist.
No, I mean, like I put Batman here, and then I put Moon Knight up here, because not only is Moon Knight filthy rich and a tech genius like Batman is, mysterious, he also has multiple personalities, and he'll actually kill the bad guys. And
representation for
he also
neuroatypical people.
He gets his powers based off of like different phases of the moon, so we get stronger and faster and whatnot. We got tons of Moon Knight comics that you can check out if that's what you're looking for.
Fun fact, Suko's cat is named Moon Knight.
One of my cats is named Moon Knight. Moon Knight, and then Riley, Beta Ray Hulk, because Hulk and Beta Ray Bill are my two favorite Marvel characters. I'm going to separate Marvel and X-Men and all that stuff. Marvel Avengers type things, and X-Men over here, X-Force, because you can't just have one favorite character. It's not fun at all.
Of course.
And then
there's I sorry to interrupt, but you were telling me that you're doing an indie comics special here now, right? Like they're gonna, for coming into your shop today, they can they'll be able to download the whole like big indie comics anthology that's coming out, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure when that download link is gonna go up. I don't know if the project is getting pretty close to being done. I haven't been in contact with them in a little bit, but I do know that when it is available, we're gonna stock it in here. So that's
so
exciting.
Awesome. And it's got creators like who've worked for Marvel, like Butch Mappa. It's got one of the directors at large of the Science Fiction Writers of America, James Beeman, is in it. This author is in it. There's all kinds of creators, and it's got like $500 worth of giveaway in it. So you download it for free. It's completely free, and then you get, you have options to sign up for all these different creators giveaways. So it's really, really cool. You just put your email address in the download page, and then all these, it's like 45 different creators, like superhero prose creators, and also comics creators who do indie comics, obviously, will send you a bunch of stuff. So you get the anthology with all these different stories. They've got all kinds of superheroes, ones that are really, really strange and unique, and then ones that are more typical of what you would see in a superhero. There's a vampire vigilante drag race in it, drag races in cars. And then there's also a East Asian inspired katana wielding person. There's a bunch of different superhero teams. There's a prequel story to the comic book character who shoots his author. There's a bunch of different little stories in there, so it's really exciting. So you definitely should download that when you get the chance. Speaking of katanas, actually, I know you had some questions about Deadpool. Suko can answer any of those too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I did. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me, sir. Please don't touch those statues there. They're very delicate. They have a lot of pieces that can come off, and the oils from your skin could compromise the paint application. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, just come on over here. Whew. Scared me for a second. I thought he was gonna pop off the one of the pieces, switch out arms or something. Okay, yeah.
I'm like that. I always want to touch stuff I'm not supposed to touch.
Yeah, let me tell you. I'm gonna have to tell you one time, at some point, maybe when we're up on the slopes, the time that Jen thought it would be an awesome idea to try to pick up my Prime 1 Studios Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie Raphael replica. The toothpick in his mouth.
Look, when I see something, I have to tap on it.
Broke off the toothpick.
Well,
so
it made good sounds.
Deadpool. I kind of view Deadpool. It's a love-hate relationship with me and Deadpool. It's no longer a hot relationship. Deadpool and I are just lukewarm, you know. It's like an occasional kind of thing now. Yeah,
I was always frustrated by the interpretations of him where he was kind of like womanizing or gross, like the video game interpretation I didn't love. But on the other hand, I've really loved like there's that storyline Suko where he kills all the presidents. There's like a really good moment in that storyline where he's fighting zombie Abraham Lincoln. And zombie Abraham Lincoln does kind of a fourth wall thing where he's like, what is the point of you? You know, you're crude, you're, gross, you're like, you always lose, like, why, you're not very super, why would you even be a superhero? And Deadpool's answer is that he always gets back up. And I love that aspect of him, that like he just always comes back and keeps fighting. You can take him apart to pieces and pieces and pieces and he always gets back up. And I felt like with mental health stuff and kind of the struggles of life, that side of Deadpool is just that's helped me get through some dark times, just the idea of always getting back up no matter what. So I like that interpretation. I don't love some of the other interpretations. So I get what you're saying, like sometimes there's different love hates. I know you didn't like the second movie very much. I didn't either, but I wanted to hear more about like why you didn't like your quibbles with the second movie.
Well, first off, yeah, all that is. My main thing with Deadpool is I compare him to Nightmare Before Christmas. When Deadpool first came out, he didn't break the fourth wall. He wasn't the Deadpool that you know, and okay, he wasn't popular at all. Same thing with Nightmare Before Christmas. No one cared about it when it first came out. And then 12, 15 years later, you have all the little emo scene kids running around. I mean, that's why Davey Havoc covered up his complete sleeve. It was Nightmare Before Christmas, and when it became a popular thing, he just blacked out his entire arm. So he was, I forget the guy that took over Deadpool, but he started writing him like this demented, loony, fourth wall character that knows he's in a comic book. And even then, he didn't really pick up that popular. It wasn't until probably I don't want to say the early 2000s, but maybe like the mid 2000s to 2010 range is when Deadpool just kind of exploded. Yeah, that's one reason why we got the Deadpool movies. But as far as Deadpool being crude, like I can understand Tony Stark because he's been a womanizer, not a womanizer, he's been a playboy through the entire comic thing, just like Hank Pym has been a womanizer. He would beat Janet. That's part of his character. But Deadpool, he's just all over. He's goofy in one thing, he's super violent in the other one. It bounces around a lot. I guess that plays into the fact that he knows he's a comic book character. But the second movie, they completely
Just like this guy.
ruined it. I felt with all the jokes, they tried to outdo the first one. With the violence, they tried to outdo the first one. They destroyed Juggernaut, they destroyed Shatterstar, they destroyed Domino. I was super stoked when I found out that Zazie Beetz was playing Domino, and then when I saw what she looked like, oh my goodness.
I didn't mind it so much, but I definitely I definitely was a little turned off by some of the like more genitalia related scenes, but some people loved it, and I definitely laughed so much in the theater that the entire row next to me left, and then I ate their popcorn and their drinks. I have no recollection of the movie because it wasn't very memorable to me and I didn't love it, but I do have a recollection of stealing those drinks and that popcorn, so that was fun. But I'm actually gonna head over in the corner and read a little bit. I know I see you looking at looking at some of those figures on the shelf. I'll let you hang out with Suko and talk about those a little bit, and kind of enjoy some lovely triggers with pops. So, but thanks for coming down to the comic shop with me, and it's always fun to hang out with friends. So I'll see you in a bit, okay? All right, you two have fun.
All right, see you in a minute, Jen.
All right, bye-bye.